I'm hoping this is the last time I'll ever have to do this in my world. What I'm doing, you may ask? Well, I'm chopping down a spruce tree, can't you see? Now this is by no means the last 2x2 spruce tree I'm ever going to chop down, but it is going to be the last 2x2 spruce tree that I chop down where the wood I gather isn't going to be used for building. Sort of. Pretty much, I need to craft some chests for today's build, and I don't want to use spruce anymore. This stuff is far too precious to be used to make a bunch of chests. Or barrels, note blocks, looms, crafting tables, beehives, composters, or any other miscellaneous wood block. I've always just used spruce wood for this sort of stuff because it's what I can get hold of the easiest. But as of 1.20 and bamboo wood, that is no longer the case. So today we're going to be making a bamboo factory. I would quite like to build it somewhere in my base, I'm just not sure on the location at the moment. It's pretty close quartered around here, there's not much room left. Unless you count all of this room on the other side of these peaks, which we actually recently expanded into with our Armatrim building behind me. There's actually a nice little spot down here, just beside our moss tower and water mill. It's gonna need a little bit of flattening as far as the terrain is concerned, but that's fine because this factory is actually a pretty small factory. In fact, I'm not even sure factory is the right word, but it's the only one I could think of. Other suggestions are welcome. As I said, it's a very small factory, small enough to fit on this flat ground. So let's make yet another addition to our mountain base. I am officially taking name suggestions for this place, because right now I've got nothing. So the outside is looking pretty lovely, and the inside is actually mostly done with the exception of one very important part, and that is the bamboo pipe. Said bamboo pipe will feed bamboo to me right here, where I can then craft it into bamboo blocks. I'll then be able to chuck it somewhere. That where is undecided at the moment, but it will all end up in my storage system, which currently is just this block of snow. But I don't really want to work on any of that until we have the actual bamboo farm ready to go, so I'm gonna get to digging. There we go, the hole has been dug. I didn't realize quite how close I was getting to my bunker, but that's okay, we should be able to keep them separate. So this bamboo farm is gonna work a little differently to how you might expect. It's not going to be running all of the time in the background, in fact it's only going to work when we flick this lever. So I needed a farm that could produce a whole lot of bamboo really quickly whenever I need it. This is the Bamboozler. It's really not that ominous, I promise. Some of you may actually recognize this design, or the name of it perhaps, from the one and only Etho. I'm sure you don't need a link to his channel, but I'll put one in the description anyway, along with the tutorial from Narconax that I followed to actually build this thing. I won't go into the specifics of the farm, not because I don't know how it works, I definitely do, but basically this bamboo stalk gets bone mealed a lot. Like, a lot. I need a hefty amount of bone meal. More than what I currently have right now. Thankfully, I have a very powerful mob farm over here in the desert that just so happens to produce a whole bunch of bones. So what happens when you cross 4.5 double chests of bones with a crafting table? You get a lot of bone meal, more than I actually need. I've already got 2 full shulker boxes with more remaining in the chests. Don't worry, I wasn't setting my expectations extremely high thinking I'd have this many bone blocks. I was gonna transport it as bone meal, but it just makes more sense this way. So now I just have to load all of this bone meal into the Bamboozler itself. So the idea is to get all of the bone meal and put it inside of this double chest, which we can expand upon. The minecart hopper then distributes it into all of these hoppers and the barrels and eventually ends up in the dispensers, which shoots the stalk all the way up. But I am far too impatient to wait for that to happen automatically, so I'm gonna fill these up by hand at the front. Okay, to turn it on, we just flick this lever. And oh my goodness, that is very noisy. Okay, that's a bit better, but yeah, that looks like it's working. There should be a lovely bamboo fountain in the actual factory itself now. And let's turn it off before we get too many items. I can already feel the lag. Couple of stragglers at the bottom here, but that's fine. Only 2 bamboo at the bottom, and at the top we've got nearly 4 stacks. So I'd say we're now ready to officially link together the factory and the farm. The farm is now connected, looking incredibly ugly, but up here in the factory we now have a lovely orange pipe which will flow the bamboo straight into my body. So in theory, all I've got to do is flick this lever and the farm should start. So here we go. Sounds promising. I hear bamboo being made. And I see bamboo coming into my inventory. Oh, buddy, look at it flow. And essentially the idea is I just sit here in front of the crafting table, wait until I get, roughly an inventory full, or however much. 4 stacks is honestly enough, and we can craft. It's 9. Okay, we need to wait till at least we get 9 stacks. There we go, we now have 9 stacks, which gives us an entire stack of bamboo blocks, and because we're lazy, we're just going to chuck it down there on the floor. And that, we'll actually just turn this off for now. We'll go into the storage room, which is just a little nook down here, and it goes into this chest and will gradually fill up. Now, I'm sure I could make this a whole lot quicker by just building more bamboozlers down there, but realistically, I don't need that. Not forgetting, this stack of bamboo blocks, that's like equivalent to a stack of spruce logs. So if I was farming logs at that speed, I'd be very happy. So basically, I'm very happy. Plus, I mean, how satisfying is the bamboo coming out of the pipe directly into my inventory just to craft it and throw it in the floor. Just so satisfying. One extra little thing I've added in here. Our furnace over on this wall has now been replaced by a cauldron that we can actually chuck some bone meal into, which feeds directly into the chest that fills up all of the dispensers. I think it's just a little bit more fun to restock it that way. I would like to do another crafting session, a little bit longer this time, just to see the true potential of this factory, but right now we are actually still missing something. And that is a pathway to actually connect our factory to the rest of the base. Whilst I'm thinking about it, I'll probably also extend the pathway out this way and actually connect up my water mill. This build has been here for goodness knows how long, far too many episodes, completely pathwayless, so I need to get that linked up too. After just 10 minutes of crafting, we have nearly 12 stacks of bamboo blocks, which is pretty good, but I am now fresh out of bone meal, so a restock is in order. But thank you everybody so much for watching this episode. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.